This episode of the Cold Popture podcast was brought to you by our Patreon. If you want to tell us which films we should watch, get up to 2 extra exclusive podcasts a month, give us something to talk about in the post-credit scenes at the end of each episode, or even contribute to the discussion in the episode itself, then please consider joining the cult and donating at www.patreon.com/cultpopture. Because you are a couple of seconds behind me from my perspective on the Zoom call, whenever we do a sync clap, I've never told you this, you never look like you're going to be ready in time.
Yeah, it's intentional. I do that for fun.
Well, I hope this validates your fun.
It does, yeah. Today I was rubbing my eyes and I was like, he's gonna be sweating. You slowed down the count, I noticed. I slowed down the count. Stop the count. We've started a few episodes like this now, but do people know what we're talking about?
So, because Richard and I record over Zoom, it's 2 separate audio files. So, for example, if Richard say something, Richard?
Titties.
So that my microphone didn't pick that up. So if I was to cut his audio, you wouldn't even have heard him say titties. And that's a good thing about it. But the bad thing about it is you have to sync these up and sort of like how when you see on a film set with the clapper board, how they go, shot 1, take 1, action. And they clap. We have to do that, and we go 3, 2, 1, clap, which is a technique that is not cited by many podcasters as the best way to do it, but that's the one that works for us. But yeah, as I say, because Richard is a few seconds behind me just because of internet lag, he never looks like he's going to clap. He's always like doing something while I'm at. Well, I go 3, 2, 1, and his arms aren't in the air ready to clap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those little joys that I give myself, just knowing you're sweating. And I'm going to keep you sweating today as I subject you to the quiz I've written about San Diego Comic-Con, which happened last weekend. And yeah, I've got a bunch of questions here that I've written, some very explicitly related to Comic-Con, some not so much. And but this is going to be our in for talking about all the various things announced, most of which are Marvel related, but we've got some questions that will start to ease us in to some non-Marvel related things. So I think there's about 26 questions, something like that.
One for every film in the MCU. I can't.
No, there's true? Less. There's Thor: Love and Thunder was the 29th film.
Can we add 3 more questions?
So, are you ready to crack into it?
Yeah. So, is this a run? If you missed San Diego Comic-Con, here's our thoughts episode, or is this everybody laugh at how little attention AJ paid to the Comic-Con?
I think that people are going to enjoy both.
Okay.
Elements of this.
I know I know in broad strokes what was announced.
All right, well, we'll see if you do.
In broad strokes, what was announced is the first question. And because I can't remember them all off the top of my head, I've proven myself wrong. Alrighty.
All right, first question's a nice one to get us started.
All right.
What year was the first San Diego Comic-Con?
I'm going to say 2004.
Ooh, it was 1970.
Holy shit. I legit thought I was subverting the trick question. I thought I was getting the trick by guessing it earlier.
It wasn't in San Diego till that point.
I thought people would be Comic-Con's actually a lot younger than you might expect it would be. But I guess I'm wrong. And
the first full-length Comic-Con was in 1964, I believe, but that wasn't the San Diego Comic-Con as it's known today.
Nice. Listeners won't have noticed that my light bulb just blew and I had to furiously flick another switch to get it to turn on again. But
I was like, you know what? We always talk about when your lights fuck up and stuff, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to ignore it today.
It was too intense. This is the most intense
It was fucking intense. Okay, so question 2. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves released the first trailer, which we can talk about. But before we get to that, a typical set of dice for Dungeons and Dragons contains 7 dice. Name those dice.
Name those dice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that. What is the naming?
The different types of dice.
Like a
it's
defense dice, attack dice.
No, so a D and then a number of sides.
Oh, D12.
That's one.
D20.
That's one.
D18.
That is not one.
D16.
That is not one.
Okay, how long do I... I don't know if you want to be like the luck dice, the fire dice. Like what?
Right, yeah. Or just give them names. The answer is that you have a... This is generally D&D nerds, don't come after me, but D20, D12, D10... D8, D6, D4, and a second D10.
Okay. Nice.
What did you think of the trailer for
so we did the Dungeons and Dragons trilogy, which a lot of people don't know about, on Film Franchise Fortnite's probably 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah, long time ago now.
And awful movies. Do not watch sign.
Still the worst films on the rank list.
There we go. They're really terrible. And in that episode, I remember with our good friend Kieran, we pitched
essentially the Jumanji movies.
We essentially pitched the Jumanji movies. Like the D&D movies should surely incorporate the fact that it's a tabletop game into the narrative. And that's what Jumanji did. And I don't know if the trailer we saw for Honor Among Thieves is that. But what I do like about it is that it looks like the spirit of that is being represented. The characters
they're playing archetypes.
They're playing archetypes, and they almost sound like they're being voiced by real people playing them. We're just not getting that extra level.
It feels like surely this is the twist you're building to, right?
But then you just get accused of copying Lego Movie. It's the same twist as Lego Movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if it's enough to just do a... What would a Dungeons and Dragons adventure look like if whatever happened in a typical D&D campaign literally happened to the characters who were experiencing it as reality? Maybe that's a better idea, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, if we're just getting a fantasy adventure, that kind of dampens any excitement I would have for it. That it's like, seen this. I'll just watch Lord of the Rings. I probably won't, but I could.
You could watch Lord of the Rings and, like... Family Guy at the same time, so you get that snappy wit that they've injected into it.
Yeah, and that's what I do quite often as well. So, an IP you're quite close to, I believe. Beavis and Butthead revealed some new clips, including them reacting to some TikToks. And which band?
Let's go. Wet Leg.
Very nice. I know it was BTS, K-pop band.
Wet Leg would do like a guest spot on Beavis and Butthead, I think. Sorry, what was the band?
But also BTS, the K-pop band.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which, makes sense. But also the other thing that came out of the Beavis and Butthead panel is that Mike Judge said he's, cautiously optimistic about King of the Hill returning.
Oh, cool. I like King of the Hill more than Beavis and Butthead, so I would...
Oh, yeah, you won't shut up about it.
I actually didn't know there was a Beavis and Butthead panel. I'm not near and dear to my heart at all, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said it has a very good chance of coming back, with his words.
Well, that's cool. I think I would like to catch up with the King of the Hill characters, so...
Yeah, I believe there was talk of like that they will have aged and stuff like that, which is quite fun.
Well, they aged in the original series. I mean, the only one you'd notice would be Bobby, but he, I think, begins the show at about 8 years old and ends the show at about 12 years old, I think. Like, his character model doesn't change, but the character gets more mature, I think.
All right. This is question 4. Name 2 non-Marvel properties which announced a crossover at Comic-Con.
Is one of them like DC?
No. Oh, technically, yeah.
I would have like Black Adam's. I guess it wasn't the crossover element of Black Adam wasn't announced. I have no idea what happened at Comic-Con outside of Marvel. Let's go.
There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 different crossovers announced. That I saw anyway.
4 different crossovers.
4 different ones. So that's 4 different crossovers.
I feel like there's one that's on the front of my. Star Trek Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds are doing like a live-action animation hybrid crossover.
Very good.
Something like that.
That's one of the answers. Yep. Congratulations. 1 point on the board.
Oh, great.
So and what's his face is directing it? The guy from
what's
his name? He grew the beard. Jonathan Frakes is directing it. But yeah, they're doing a live action animation hybrid episode crossover with Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. The other ones I would have accepted were a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, and as well as a Batman and Spawn one, which those are both actually happening in comic books. But the other one was something called The Tidal Zone, which is going to be a crossover between SpongeBob SquarePants, Camp Coral, and The Patrick Star Show.
Oh, cool. A crossover between 3 shows that already are
set in the same universe, yeah.
Nice.
Excited for any of those?
I think that the SpongeBob spin-offs really fascinate me. I was watching a video about them recently where someone reviewed them because I was really curious about what the Patrick Star Show actually was. And the consensus seems to be like this has made me realize I'm not against a SpongeBob spin-off. It's just this is dog shit.
Yeah, right.
Like that's been sort of like the idea. Like the Patrick Star Show especially is supposed to be like this kind of absurdist variety show, but it's just descended into being another SpongeBob. Like another SpongeBob,
Yeah,
like
right.
SpongeBob's in it. Like what's the point in doing a cavalcade of spin-offs if they all star the same cast?
The Sponge.
Yeah, Sponge.
At Comic-Con, a meme was announced to be canon. What was that meme?
Is it Dat Boy actually is coming? Oh shit.
Oh shit, what is actually up?
Is it that due to negative press actually Kofefe?
So Matthew Lillard has announced that, or has confirmed that the Ultra Instinct Shaggy meme is canon. It's obviously being put into the Multiverses game, which also announced it was adding LeBron James and Rick Sanchez. But there's also he said in the movie there's the bar fight scene, referring to, I guess, Scooby-Doo, I don't know. But he said that also there's the Mortal Kombat animated movie last year, which in the title treatment or the logo featured Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Or the Shaggy only using 1/10 of his power. A meme I hate.
What the hell is going on? I'm usually pretty it takes a lot for me to say I hate a meme because it's who cares, right? But the Shaggy meme felt so designed to be exploitative that I hated it, and lo and behold, it's probably the most successful meme of my lifetime. It's gone from just being a dumb joke that Shaggy apparently has godlike powers to probably the inspiration for the video game multiverses. It's probably why it's happened, is because of the Shaggy meme. And now it's got such great heights. Also, what a nonsense sentence LeBron James and Rick Sanchez are being added. What the hell is going on? It is not just Marvel that are in the multiverse saga. The whole fucking world is, and it's getting overboard. We're in the overboard saga. So
Question 6.
Patrick Swayze on the horn? Was it Kurt Russell?
Overboard?
Yeah.
I think that's Kurt Russell.
Is it normal to mix those two up? They kind of look similar in their heyday.
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Or if you're looking for the remake, I believe it was Anna Faris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Guess which show received another spin-off?
The Boys. Can I guess again?
Maybe. Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
That is correct. The Walking Dead announced another spin-off series featuring Rick and Michonne.
I did know that.
This is going to be replacing the Rick Grimes movie that was supposed to be coming out.
Because there were going to be a series of movies, weren't there?
Yeah, there was talked about being a trilogy, but
this isn't as compelling of an idea, I don't think.
Yeah, I would have watched the movie. I'm not going to watch the series.
What a great way to put it. That's very important audience feedback that The Walking Dead probably needed.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
It's an American Pale Ale, Max Interstate. And so I thought, you know what, I was looking at getting a couple of beers the other night. I thought, well, I better get used to my American Pale Ales because I'm heading over to the shores of the America soon. Question 7, and this is where we actually start to get to the big announcements. Shazam! Fury of the Gods got its first full trailer at Comic-Con. The villains of that film are the daughters of which Greek god?
Ares.
It's Atlas.
Oh, right. Is he a god? I'm going to actually you there. I don't think Atlas is a god.
Atlas.
Atlas is a titan, maybe?
He is a titan, yeah. Good.
Wow. I should get an extra point.
You can have
the daughters of Atlas. Interesting.
Yeah, did you see the trailer first?
I did. I thought I watched it and I was like, why don't I like Shazam as much as I should? Because on paper, I love it. I love the fish out of water, like
Zachary Levi.
I love Zachary Levi. I love the connection between the younger actor and Zachary Levi is really good. I think it feels like they're playing the same character, but then at the same time, maybe I'm just a little bit bored of superheroes. I don't know. I even like the idea that he's in some kind of like, what's even the point in me being a superhero?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll watch it and I'm sure I'll like it, but I should be loving these movies.
That's the thing, like, Shazam I really liked when I saw it, but I haven't really thought about it much afterwards, and I'm not, like, particularly excited for the sequel. As you say, I will watch it, I will probably enjoy it. But yeah, the trailer, it looked fun, but I think I'll like the movie more, like, when I'm sitting in it and being like, yeah, actually, fuck yeah, I did like the first Shazam quite a bit.
Yeah. Nice.
Final question for our pre-Marvel round to show that we're not just Marvel fanboys.
To be fair, what else would you talk about if you're doing a Comic-Con discussion?
Yeah. What year was Dwayne Johnson first approached about playing Black Adam?
It's 2007, right?
2006.
Right, because we had talked about that on the most dumbest looking movies of 2020.
Yeah, maybe we talked about it on Scorpion King or something.
Really? Was it that long ago? I thought we talked about it with Jeremy.
I think we talked about it in 2006.
When was the first time we mentioned that it had... Yeah. No, because remember I had that ongoing bit where I was like, it feels like this movie's been coming out forever. Yeah. It was part of that. That was from the most anticipated episode, dumbest looking episode. Let's just change it back.
You excited for Black Adam?
No, not really. It's like it's like this superhero is a bad dude, and it's like, cool, I've seen this. You've done this bit. You've done this 400 times. I don't know.
He got Dwayne Johnson got boos because I was asked, could Black Adam beat Superman? And he said, oh, it depends who's playing Superman, sort of teasing that there was a bit of a change-up coming, and a lot of people were hoping or expecting Henry Cavill to show up at Comic-Con. He was heavily rumoured to be appearing, somewhat, presumably confirming his return as Superman. There was talk of a Man of Steel sequel finally being announced. But yeah, it's funny that he just didn't show up, and DC really just showed off their two properties. No talk of The Flash, which probably was the right choice. Yeah, no Wonder Woman announcement. They didn't announce anything. They just showed off two things.
I've got a quiz question for you. Why did Henry Cavill not show up?
Because he wasn't invited.
No, apparently the underground rumor mill tells us, is what I've heard, is he got COVID on set of The Witcher, and so what is very clearly a lackluster DC panel was planning to have probably the pearl and the clam of the whole Comic-Con, and had to then just have look like they came prepared with nothing because Cavill was too sick to show up.
I feel like you would still announce it though, like
yeah, maybe they hadn't filmed anything. Maybe there was going to be lo-fi announcements. I think the better strategy would have just been to say, oh, let's just not do Comic-Con. Let's just wait till Wonder Dome, and then just do it all there.
No, now that everyone's got their own bloody Comic-Cons. Everybody and their mums has got Comic-Cons around here.
Very good.
So now we're on to the 17 Marvel questions I have. 18 Marvel questions, and they're not all Super Marvel related.
Okay.
I'm really proud of this round, so I hope you enjoy it. I Am Groot received its first trailer. This bunch of short films featuring Baby Groot. In the similarly named I Am Weasel, who receives the created by credit in the title screen?
I have no idea. Is it Weasel?
No, it's David Feiss created I Am Weasel.
Nice. The way you worded that felt like it was going to be a trick question. Like, it's not actually the creator of the show, but it just was, which I still don't know. You could have just said who created it. I still wouldn't have known. What do you think of I Am Groot?
I mean, it's probably no I Am Weasel.
No. Unless the Red Devil character who was also in Cow and Chicken shows up.
I do love I Am Weasel.
Do you?
IR Baboon, always getting into antics.
He's the big star cartoon.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, no,
like
I am I Am Groot. It's I mean every property has one of these like short films that don't really.
Oh, I thought you meant like a cute exploitable mascot character.
Well, I mean, kinda, yeah. But like on Disney Plus, there's so many like short film, like there'll be 5 episodes, 5 minutes each, if that, and they're I don't have an issue with it.
Nice. I think that's not the most glowing recommendation, though, is it? I don't have an issue with it.
No, yeah. There's a Marvel animated show for kids called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which received its first look. At what score does the Google Chrome offline dinosaur game turn from day to night?
1,200 points.
It's 700 points.
Wow. Nice.
just disconnect from the internet to prove it.
What is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur?
It's like a very Disney XD sort of thing, but it's got a decent car, Alison Breeze in it. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of these like obscure sort of Marvel titles that really makes sense for that kind of thing. But
is it canon? Is it MCU canon?
I don't think so. Now more to the like actual sort of stuff. But so What If? The TV show announced it's returning early 2023 and confirmed a 3rd season. Can you name one actor who replaced their live action counterpart in season 1?
Can I name?
So looking for a character who didn't have their live action actor return, and I'm looking for the name of the actor who plays them in What If. Did
Lake Bell play Captain Marvel?
Do you want to have another guess? You're so close.
Is it not Captain Marvel?
It's not.
Okay. Did Lake Bell play? Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, what? No, because she played her. She returned.
Who are you saying?
I was thinking Peggy Carter, but that was. It wouldn't be the Wasp, would it?
No,
because who are the big players? Oh, is it Black Widow?
It is Black Widow.
Yeah, right.
Very good. I'm very proud of you for that. I got so excited when you said Lake Bell. I was like, I need to get him up.
All right.
Are you excited for more What If?
Do you know what? I have grown seethingly rageful.
Racist.
No, what? No, I just really think What If just completely misunderstood the assignment, as the kids were saying 10 months ago. Like, I think it is so, like, when you pitch the pitch of the show sounds all right. Every episode was a bad execution of that pitch, I think. And I think also I've come to really not like the animation style. They've released shots of the animations for Spider-Man Freshman Year, and they look great. And I'm like, why is What If this weird? It looks like unfinished. I will begrudgingly watch What If season 2 because I feel like you'll expect me to for the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm not looking forward to it at all. I really didn't like season 1. I think it's the worst thing in the MCU.
Wow. Harsh words. Spider-Man Freshman Year.
What's that?
Was
Released
got
its
revealed.
concept art.
It released its concept art, and it's a prequel to the MCU Spider-Man, which features a bunch of villains and characters that he shouldn't know, but it's also going to have Charlie Cox's Daredevil in it. But your question is that it's set for release in 2024, which is the year that Highlander 2: The Quickening is set.
Right.
What is the subtitle of the third Highlander movie? There's 3 possible answers.
The even quicker inning.
No.
It just doesn't have one. It's just referred to in some territories as Highlander 3.
No, so it's called Highlander 3: The Sorcerer. Wikipedia says also known as Highlander: The Final Conflict, and the poster on Wikipedia says Highlander: The Final Dimension.
Okay.
I was originally going to say, what's the subtitle of Highlander 2? But I was like, no, he'll get this. So I'll make it harder.
What do you think of Freshman Year? I think
I think
art does
it's
look
going to
cool.
be... Yeah, I like the art style. I think it's going to be more obvious. It's like, this isn't... Like, I hope they're not going to do like, yeah, it is mind erased, and that's why it never came up. It's like, I'm fine with like an alternate history Spider-Man, or just like Tom Holland voicing Spider-Man in a Spider-Man cartoon.
I don't think he is voicing him.
Well, then just whatever. It's like, okay, cool. It's just a Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, I think they've really made it like there was no reason to say that this is part of the MCU. But at the same time, it is the missing chapter from Spider-Man's MCU story, is because they were like, well, we don't want to do the origin again. But like, and I thought that was the point of this, was to go over, like, to do the Uncle Ben shit and the radioactive spider shit and have it be canon to the MCU. But then they're like, yeah, and like, because like the problem is basically, if Norman Osborn and presumably Green Goblin are in Spider-Man Freshman Year, then you would expect that when Peter met an alternate universe Norman Osborn in No Way Home, he would recognize the name, right? That's the issue that people have, right? Like, yeah, and yeah, I wonder what the deal is. I wonder if it's going to just be like, frustratingly, they're just not going to even say anything about it. It's just going to be like, yes, it's canon, and then that's all they say, or if there's going to be any kind of playing around with the timeline, or I don't know. I guess, like, if you are making a Spider-Man cartoon, which feels like it's trying to be like the definitive one, why, you know, you would want to include all the classics, and if you don't, then what was the point? You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's hard. The real estate that is new Spider-Man canons is getting chock-a-block, and people are running out of places to park their car.
To park their Peters.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. To park their car.
So, X-Men 97 got a release date of fall 2023, but can you tell me what happened the day before fall began in 1997?
Did the Berlin Wall fall or some shit like that?
No, Princess Diana died.
All right, damn.
August 31st, 1997, fall begins in the States on September 1st.
What's your Princess Diana story? Like, as in when you found out she died. I don't think you met her or anything.
I was building my childhood bed with my dad in the garage, and the radio was on, and then something came on the radio, and my parents both ran inside and turned on the TV, and I came in, and I'm pretty sure the newsreader was like crying, and they just like couldn't believe it.
Why are boomers so obsessed with royals?
Well, I mean, it's not like, not my parents specifically, but it was like, this was like the hugest news story of all time. Yeah, the most famous person in the world being killed in a car accident. I think, right now, if it was like, who?
I guess Meghan Markle would be the equivalent.
Yeah, like if you found out Meghan Markle was killed in a car accident, you would be like, holy shit, what the fuck?
I guess so. I don't know if I'd run inside. I didn't run inside for any other recent celebrity deaths.
But this is also, you would pull out your phone and Google it, this is the equivalent to 1997.
That's true. I remember standing in the lounge, and my parents told me, and I said to them that I didn't know that princesses were real. I thought they were made up for, like, fantasy stories. And you know what? Now that I'm 29, they bloody are.
Very nice. Yeah, you excited for X-Men 97?
I think it's a good idea because it was a popular cartoon, but I did actually watch it, but I wasn't clamoring for the original. That was just called X-Men. This is obviously a reboot.
The animated series.
A something or other of it.
So we also got a little bit more info about the Marvel Zombies spin-off of What If, which is going to follow on from the What If Zombies episode.
The worst episode.
Yeah. It got a TV MA rating, so it's going to be a little bit more mature. And it promises all the gore and splatter you want from a zombie show. But can you tell me which New Zealand Prime Minister was born in gore?
Robert Muldoon.
That was Jenny Shipley.
Robert Muldoon, by the way, we didn't mention this on the Jurassic Park episode. Well, the character's name, the clever girl guy, is named Robert Muldoon, also the name of a New Zealand Prime Minister. Jenny Shipley, hey, good on her. She's got gore written all over her.
Yeah, I mean, from gore to head of state. Gore, for those who don't know, is the worst town in New Zealand. So, yeah, you gonna watch Marvel Zombies?
Do I have to? I'm gonna phase 5. I think is going to be where my pointless dedication to the MCU I think is going to start faltering, and might begin with Marvel Zombies. I'm barely hanging in there already.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. She-Hulk Attorney at Law has a lot of people wanting to get into bed with She-Hulk. Can you tell me what does BDSM stand for?
BD. I was thinking of S&M. I was like, no, it's masochism, and no, I don't know. What is? I'm sure I've learnt somewhere in my life. Give me the first one. What is the B?
Bondage.
Bondage. BD. Dominance.
If you don't know, you won't be able to get it.
Well, I won't be able to get BDSM.
Yeah. So BDSM is like an interesting acronym because it's a portmanteau essentially of bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and sadism and masochism. So it's BD, DS, and SM.
Oh god, okay.
So the D and the S both stand for two things.
Right. Well, that's cheating.
So are you excited for She-Hulk Attorney at Law?
I'm of two minds about it. I think the CGI is making me lose my mind whenever she's on screen. I think it just looks so insane to me, and I don't understand why they haven't had that problem, even on TV budgets with any of their other things. I think it's a really cool concept. I think what the MCU needs, and what Star Wars needs as well, is a show in which cameo and connective tissue are actually built into the fabric of the series so that it stops being a situation where it's like it feels half-assed or unearned that you show a character in another thing. You could literally do a season, like the format for She-Hulk could be a different established Marvel character shows up every episode, and I think that'd be a cool idea. So I really like the idea. I'm not sure about that CGI.
I think I'll probably enjoy the content quite a bit because they've said it's their first half-hour comedy.
Yeah.
And it's I like you say, I like that, and I like the idea of just make it quick.
Here's what I'm predicting based on every other Marvel show that's come out. I will really like the first couple of episodes, then I'll feel like I haven't seen them, and then I'll keep watching it and feel like I've missed so much information, and then it'll end, and I'll be like, okay. I'll give it 3 stars on Letterboxd because you can still rate Marvel TV shows on Letterboxd.
Yeah, much to my chagrin. So, Catherine Newton showed up. She's going to be playing Cassie Lang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Name the other 2 actors who played Cassie Lang.
I can't.
It's Abby Ryder Fortson and Emma Thurman.
Is this the most recast character in the MCU?
Probably.
Is she even from the comics? Oh, she probably is. It's such an unassuming character to continuously be recast.
But yeah, it's interesting because it's the girl in Endgame was the right age and everything. So, but I imagine she was sort of recast without Peyton Reed being involved, and it's he's I wanted her to be a main character. in Quantumania, so we need like a named actress. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of up and coming roles, and Catherine Newton doesn't need them all. But yeah, you excited for Quantumania?
It looks like it's going to be
apparently very dark.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be like weirdly important to the story going forward.
Yeah, well, having Kang, yeah.
Yeah, and I did see a clip from the trailer being filmed at Comic-Con, which had Kang in it, which looked quite cool. I like, because apparently it's like Scott is like, the fame's gone to his head, and he's like written a book. It showed that he had a podcast in Ms. Marvel, so I think that's a really cool place to take that character. And I'm so on the other two Ant-Man movies, but like maybe it's at the point now where it'll be a welcome return to these characters.
Yeah, and yeah, it's interesting, like because I think it was like the crew wrap jackets had like just a cracked Ant-Man helmet that was like cut in half, and it's like I wonder if it's going to continue the sort of like each third film is about like taking away that person's thing. So like Iron Man 3, he doesn't have a suit. Thor Ragnarok, he destroys his he gets his hammer destroyed, and then like in Civil War it's like a bit more abstract, I guess, but you have like he loses his team, or he loses America.
Yeah. I think because MODOK is in this, and he's apparently just going to be Yellow Jacket, the guy who played Yellow Jacket. That's so boring to me. This isn't from Comic-Con. This has been rumored for like a year now, and I think that's crazy to take like probably the most boring MCU villain, like the picture of boring MCU villains, and give them the role of a lifetime that is MODOK. Like, surely you go big, because like Bill Murray is in this movie. Maybe he should play MODOK. I wonder who he's playing.
Yeah. So we also got, along with She-Hulk, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is going to conclude Phase 4. Now, can you tell me, is the Black Panther, the animal, more closely related to a leopard or a jaguar?
Isn't it both?
Yes, correct. A Black Panther is a black version of either one of those big cats.
A panther. I heard years ago the fun fact: a panther isn't real. It's a melanin defect in multiple types of big cats. So, yeah.
But Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Probably, I reckon, might be the best trailer Marvel has ever released. I thought it looked so fucking good.
It's a really beautiful kind of tribute to the hardship that's plagued this production. But that hardship, you can probably get a good trailer out of it. I am concerned for the content of the movie. I think it's got a lot standing in the way of it being good. I hope it is. I've got no stake in it being bad. But yeah, I think it's got an uphill battle to climb, I think.
And I know you're not a big fan of the title.
I just think that I don't like the Wakanda Forever helped me realize this. I don't like when a sequel's title is something you could have called the first movie. A sequel's title should bring in, even if it's not that amazing, it should bring in a new concept to the series. And I think Wakanda Forever is like, and it's like using the catchphrase of the first one. I don't know. It just doesn't. It feels like
I think for me, it's sort of made right, but like the movie clearly wants to just be called Wakanda Forever. Like the way the title treatment is like Wakanda Forever in these massive letters, and then Black Panther like the same size as the Marvel logo above it. It's a branding thing, and it's like there was probably a discussion had like, can we just call this Wakanda Forever?
I reckon Black Panther United or Wakanda United or something like that could have been. I think it's specifically dumb that it's a well-known catchphrase from the first film as well. I think that doesn't work for me.
Sure. Mahershala Ali's Blade got a release date, November 3rd, 2023.
God, we don't fucking know anything about this film, do we? Other than
I believe there is a director. I can't remember his name though. But your question is, can you, for me, point to your tongue blade?
Is it it wouldn't. No, okay. Is it the frenulum? A frenulum?
It is not. You're very close though.
Is it the side of the frenulum?
Now, your tongue blade is on the underside, just at or below the tip of your tongue. So between the tip of your tongue and your frenulum.
It's just an amorphous part of the tongue. an inherently
it's
amorphous,
not like segmented.
Yeah. Like something that is famously quite squishy and amorphous. It's like point to a specific part on this flat surface.
You excited for Blade?
I'm interested to see how all of this is going to gel. Like, I would be a fool to think you couldn't work a new magic into the MCU because they've done it every time. But like, vampires feels like a pretty big deal to just be like, they're real and they've been here the whole time. Didn't this movie begin because Mahershala Ali just wanted to do it as well?
Yeah.
That's
and they're like, you were Cottonmouth and Luke Cage, and he's like, I want to be Blade, and they're like, all right, you just won an Oscar. So okay.
It feels like a red flag, I guess, that it's been greenlit with inorganic intention, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Wesley Snipes showed up in it as well.
Yeah. Oh, no. You know what? Wesley Snipes hates that this is going ahead without him.
No, he's sort of, I think he's been supportive.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Judging by his petty behavior on the original Blade movies, I didn't think it would be a good sign.
So one announcement that had a lot of people, not necessarily us, very excited is the announcement of an 18-episode series called Daredevil Born Again.
This is... Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, when they discover Christianity later in life, are referred to as born again. Can you tell me what is the last verse of the Bible?
I reckon it's something about angels blowing trumpets.
No, see, this was interesting because I was like, I could give you the first verse. It's like, fucking God did shit.
That's it.
Can you give me the book and the number sort of thing?
The book is Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to just be guessing the number.
Do you want to throw out a guess?
Maybe book 30.
It's Revelations 22:21. The grace of the Lord Jesus be with God's people. Amen.
Amen.
Pretty boring. I don't like endings to books that could have just ended any part of the book. That could be anywhere in the Bible. Yeah, Daredevil Born Again. I have been keen to watch Daredevil for a long time, the Netflix series. I've started it a couple of times and never I've never even got to when Kingpin's introduced in the series because he doesn't appear for like 3 or 4 episodes. But I loved the first season of Jessica Jones. Apparently, Daredevil's even better. So I will, at some point, I guess, watch it in preparation for Born Again, and I'll be that dick that's like able to, finish like the cliffhanger in season 3 and then immediately just pick it up again.
My flatmate finished Breaking Bad after El Camino had come out. So, I think this is... I think I would be forgiven for this being the point I choose to jump off the...
I don't think you'd be forgiven.
The boat. Because
certainly not by me.
I haven't seen Daredevil, who's been like recanonized since No Way Home. So already it feels like I'm not being a completionist by...
And he's in... Yeah, they're going to be in freshman year and...
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't feel the need to watch this series, and it's going to be fucking long. It's 18... Yeah. When was the last time an 18-episode series was greenlit? God, that's so long.
1,000 years ago.
1,000 years ago.
The Bible.
So, I mean, I can't imagine... This is going to have to be, like, gobsmackingly good for me to check it out, I think. I'm going to have to hear, like, this is the most important show of the decade.
So good, I'm gobsmacked.
I'm gobsmacked.
Smack my gob.
Because even the original Daredevil show is supposed to be really good, and I never checked that out. This has got to be, like, people have got to say, like, this is too good for Marvel or something for me to check it out.
After a lot of a long time being rumored, we finally got an official announcement of Thunderbolts. But can you tell me how hot is a lightning bolt? What temperature?
It's actually cold. It is minus 1,000 degrees Celsius.
You're 28,000 degrees off.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's actually minus 29,000. It's 27,000 degrees Celsius or 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Thunderbolts interesting. Like Thunderbolts, I guess I have to reserve judgment until probably D23 because Feige did say like we'll get to the lineup of the Thunderbolts shortly. But there you go, you've got the date. And so I think that's like one of the big announcements they're keeping in their pocket for D23 is just like what the actual lineup of the Thunderbolts will be. So Thunderbolts is like the kind of it's their sort of Suicide Squad-y sort of thing.
Yeah, so they're
not really
villainous anti-hero Avengers, Dark Avengers. Yeah. Who's going to be who's eligible for the Thunderbolts?
Zemo is like a given.
Well, I think he runs it in the comics, doesn't he?
Yeah. Thunderbolts lineup.
I thought for years that Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross was the like team leader. Apparently, he has nothing to do with it. It's just they used the word Thunderbolt twice in Marvel. Which, I mean, William Hurt having died recently, I guess they're not in that predicament. Where
that's good. Yeah,
that's great for them actually. But at the same time, if he was alive, I reckon you'd obviously make him the like orchestrator behind it. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, the ones I have here are like just looking at a fucking movie web. They say US Agent, Wyatt Russell's character.
Yep, so obviously he'll be in it. Yep.
Yeah, and it seemed Val might put the team together.
Yep, no, definitely that. So therefore also Yelena, the new Black Widow, would be on board.
Probably Abomination's back now.
Yep. And then
Swordsman, Tony Dalton from Hawkeye, Lalo Salamanca.
I reckon get Yelena, get Zemo, get US Agent, and get Abomination maybe for like a little bit, and then fill out the rest with new characters. I think we don't need everyone to be from something else for it to be.
Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I mean, she has been left. Her story was definitely left open, so that would be a good idea.
And she's apparently one of the prominent Thunderbolts in the comics. And a reformed villain, because I think the Thunderbolts are reformed villains. So it's people that... Because Zemo also kind of ends in like a bit of a wild card, but, would do something for the sort of general good, I suppose.
Yeah.
And US Agent like means well, but is just white privilege.
I think that this is good, and I'm surprised that we're not getting any kind of team-up movie at all in Phase 4. I before Comic-Con, I believed that we were still in the middle of Phase 4, and what was still to come hadn't even been announced. And so
I think Phase 4 is going to go down as just the phase where they introduced a bunch of new characters. Like, genuinely, that's what I think Phase 4 is established to do. Like, you think about every project has introduced, like, a new prominent hero.
Yeah, totally.
Or multiple. And so I think that by the time you get to something like Secret Wars, which is like every single character has to be in this, we're now, because a bunch of, sort of people ended at Endgame, that they're not taking the time to develop another Steve or Tony. They're just saying, like, they're setting it up so you can be like, look how many fucking people are on screen in Secret Wars.
Right. Do you reckon because there's Thunderbolts, another Avengers, and also Young Avengers was not announced, but rumored is, and I wonder if like that is the plan, even if they're not calling it Young Avengers, is to split up, like, so you've got different team up movies so that you can, I don't know.
Secret Invasion comes to Disney Plus next year. That's the TV show, not the movie. It involves aliens, but can you tell me what year was the one investigated UFO sighting in New Zealand?
Oh God!
And what did it end up being, or what's it referred to as?
It's referred to as like is it like the Kaikoura lights or something?
That's correct.
Yes, awesome.
What year was it?
I reckon like is it 80s, 70s? Maybe like 77,
78.
I have looked this up before. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to have something so insane like in your backyard. Like, how many times would you have been to Kaikoura in your life?
100.
Yeah. Like, we have driven through it 100 times. It's like, I know where it is.
Yeah. So Secret Invasion. It's interesting that because they also didn't announce Armor Wars, but they've announced that Rhodey's going to be in Secret Invasion, and Rhodey, if they're going to be like, Kobe Smolder said, like, you're not going to know who's a Skrull. It's going to be this tense thriller, and it's like, if you're going to make any established character a Skrull, it has to be Rhodey.
It
Right.
does, but I also wouldn't buy it, and it's so what are they going to do? But I think he's had too much play to realistically be a Skrull, and I don't. That's so it's Rowlian. It's J.K. Rowlian to be like, this character wasn't who you thought for fucking 15 years. So
I thought you meant it was Rowlian, as in he was going to say Zooey Mama.
I also meant that. I guess if you were going to do. So what are the reasons, if Armor Wars has been scrapped and Rhodey has been put in this show instead, does that mean he definitely is a Skrull, or does that mean he definitely
They couldn't get
isn't?
Sam Rockwell for Armor Wars.
I think that, because like, if they're saving Armor Wars for later, then he's definitely not a Skrull. You know? God, they got to get Sam Rockwell back, don't they? So who else does this have in it? Is this the
Olivia Colman, Amelia Clark, Sam Rockwell, Kobe Smulders?
Sam Rockwell's in this?
Ben Mendelsohn. Did I say Sam Rockwell?
Yeah.
I mean Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn's back as well.
So this is all the characters who have never been main characters in a Marvel film getting there.
Yeah. Kobe Smulders would make sense to be a Skrull as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, she already was revealed to be one at the end of Far From Home, but it was a version of her.
This is the sidekick, the supporting cast movie. The show.
Yeah. So we got Captain America 4, got an official title and release date. The subtitle is New World Order. Now, that title has been used for a movie before. There's a documentary from 2009 called New World Order. Can you tell me who appears on the poster for the 2009 documentary New World Order?
Barack Obama.
No, quite the opposite. It's actually Alex Jones.
Oh, right. Nice. Me.
Because it's about conspiracy theories, which New World Order refers to, like this conspiracy theory that there's this,
And I'm going to say it is there are Disney execs sweating putting New World Order as a title. Like, there are Disney execs who are like full on in the cult that rules over Hollywood. That are like, do we really have to make a movie called New World Order? Feels like it's going to hit a little close to home.
You excited for New World Order?
Reserve judgment. Didn't really like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I can't wait for New World Order to have to very briefly explore some ideas that are some of the most intriguing concepts ever put forward in the MCU, and then just have them, not really be part of it.
No, these intriguing concepts will be the perspective of a villain, and then that villain will blow up a hospital, and you'll go, oh, right, because they're evil, and therefore having these perspectives means you're evil.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Captain America 4. It's I like that it's it's just straight up Captain America 4. It's a new Cap, get over it. New World Order sort of also implies like, yep, get over it. This is how things are now. Yeah.
I like
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had a showing, including new cast member Chukwudi Iwuji in costume as the High Evolutionary. Spell Chukwudi Iwuji.
No.
Chukwudi Iwuji.
CH. Have I already gone wrong?
No, you're right.
Chukwudi?
Chukwudi Iwuji.
CHIQUOOTIE space AWOULDY.
It's CHUKWUDI space IWUJI. I'm not sure. I'm confident I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Chukwudi Iwuji, a very fun name to say. Guardians 3. We also got Maria Bakalova as playing Cosmo the dog.
Big fan.
Excited for that?
I wish she was appearing on screen though. I'd say
she might be. I don't know. Maybe they turned Cosmo into a human. I don't know.
I think no reason to doubt this. I think that James Gunn is he said that it's going to be like the end of this era of Guardians. Which I think means he is not going to do anymore. I think people are like, it means all the characters are going to die. I don't think so. I think it means
some will die, I imagine.
Yeah,
but it was said that the trailer was very emotional and the cast was very emotional, and
there's a baby raccoon in it.
Yeah, baby rocket, and so I think Guardians 2 is like the most sort of like emotionally mature MCU movie. So I'm excited to see, if he can continue that and have something good and really tug at the heartstrings without relying too much on jokes. But yeah, hopefully it looks as beautiful as the last
condemnation that the MCU has been non-committal on walking back from for a number of years now.
Only a few more questions left, but Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, and Agatha Coven of Chaos received shortened release windows rather than the year. We got a shorter window of the season. Can you tell me what percentage of computers worldwide still run Windows XP?
Let's go. I reckon it's gonna be. I reckon it's gonna be like 60%, something shocking like that.
No, it's not that shocking. 0.44%.
Oh God, I was so wrong.
Although, if we are talking specifically Armenia, the answer is between 50 and 60%.
Is it that hard to get a Windows XP installed these days? That was the best operating
it's not supported anymore. Yeah.
The PlayStation 2 of Windows.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to ask, what does the XP stand for?
Experience?
Yeah, it is experience. But I thought you might get that, so I made it harder. Are you excited for any of these shows?
No, say them again.
Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, and Agatha Coven of Chaos.
Echo is going to be a hard watch, I think. Loki Season 2, I guess. Agatha, not really. Ironheart, I'm interested in like a Tiny Toon Adventures version of Iron Man. I think that's a cool idea, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll probably watch all this shit, won't I?
Yeah. No,
I won't.
What else are you going to be doing?
Yeah, I won't fucking watch like any of the like shows that have been heavily recommended to me over the last 3 years. I'll just watch Marvel and Star Wars shows, none of which I'll end up enjoying.
Never going to watch The Leftovers.
No.
Fuck
I can't. I've got to watch Agatha Coven of Chaos.
So, one of the big announcements, we had 2 Avengers films were announced for Phase 6, coming out 6 months apart from each other. They're called Avengers the Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. What is a single ruler from a dynasty called?
A dynamo.
You're very close. It's a dynast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dynamo's like an expert. Like I'm a real dynamo.
What do you think of the Avengers thing?
I do wonder if it's not going to be a two-parter situation, rather a Team A and Team B situation. Because it does feel like there are 2 distinct threads that have been developed for the multiverse saga. One of them being the multiverse stuff, and one of them being the maybe like the Skrull stuff, or like the more grounded Earth. I don't know. It feels like there's
the
more
Skrull stuff, the grounded stuff.
No, I can't. What are the 2? Like, there's multiverse stuff, but then there's also the stuff with like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and shit like
ground
that.
level, street level.
Yeah. So I do wonder if secret. What are these things about? Who are these people?
Because I've tried to Google Secret Wars a bunch of times, and it's never really made that much sense to me. From what I understand, though, I saw like a TLDR of it, and it's like Kang Dynasty is like Kang like takes over everything sort of thing, or unites the multiverse, or does something, and then that culminates in that then Doom like takes over that, and then that leads into Secret Wars. So it's like...
So they are connected. They aren't just 2 separate...
yeah, I believe so. And I'm probably getting this like super wrong with this. It could have been a theory that I read, not like what actually happens. But yeah, it understands that like Kang achieves his goal, or whatever that may be, and then Doom goes, oh, thanks, I'll take that.
Right. Interesting. I feel like Kang Dynasty is the more exciting title. And I think it's interesting that they've, like, knowing nothing about it, my first response seeing those 2 titles was like, well, I guess the Kang Dynasty doesn't last very long. It does. I guess they win.
Yeah, I guess the Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
last.
exactly. The Age of Ultron. What do you think is going to last longer, the Age of Ultron or
the Dynasty of Kang?
Can we be generous and say that the Age of Ultron was more the threat of them losing?
Yeah.
But the Kang. Well, I wonder if the Kang Dynasty is going to do something like major. No pun intended.
I think the thing because
the
Dynasty is like, oh, yeah, nice.
Yes, I got that right.
Dynasty, yeah, the Kang Dynasty, like a dynasty refers to, like a family going through ruling over generations.
Ah, right. So it's less a time period and more the multiverse, the multiversal character that is Kang.
Yeah, and that so if he's ruling across all of time, then. Yeah, that would be the dynasty. And so again, it could be the threat of every version of Kang across all of time is potentially going to rule that area of time, creating a dynasty.
One thing I've seen no one talking about is that if these two movies are connected, they are 6 months apart, and presumably there are going to be unannounced movies and shows in that 6 month window.
Yeah, we got they released the Phase 6, like what it's going to look like, the timeline of it, and it's only got 3 projects on it at the moment, but I think there was stuff in between.
They're not going to go 6 months without releasing something, though.
Yeah, no,
they barely go 1 month now. I think that what that says to me is that either they're going to be separate adventures where you can include Shang-Chi 2 after the Kang Dynasty and not have it mean anything. Not have it be
you've
affected.
got 2 things labeled summer 2025 that are supposed to come between those 2 movies.
I reckon either we're going to get something that's set in the dystopia world between the two. It's similar to what we actually said should have happened with Endgame, Infinity War and Endgame. I don't know. I think that I'm very interested to see if these movies actually are connected or if they are as I say, Team A and Team B. But it sounds like
here first, folks.
I feel like people will be annoyed if it's Team A and Team B, but that's probably what I would prefer.
Yeah. All right, your final question. Fantastic Four was announced to kick off Phase 6. Can you name 6 members of the Fantastic Four?
The Thing? Miss Invisible? What's her name?
Invisible Girl, Invisible Woman.
Invisible Woman. Mr. Fantastic. The Human Torch. I think Spider-Man has been in the Fantastic Four. And I don't know a 6th one. Let's go Deadpool.
No. The ones, there's a few, but the sort of main ones, guessable ones I would have accepted would be Luke Cage, Nova, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Ant-Man, Storm, Black Panther, and Spider-Man.
What defines the Fantastic Four? Sure, anytime a member is added or replaces another one, I'm just like, well, isn't the whole thing that they're connected by the same power
They
surge?
should call it the bloody...
the Cool Kids Club.
The ship of Theseus 4.
It's the same thing as what makes something a mutant in a world where the Hulk exists. What makes someone a Fantastic Four member?
The uniform.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Fantastic Four?
I'll be interested to see how it goes out. I think they
presumably D23 we're getting cast and director announcement.
Well, because there was a rumor that they asked Steven Spielberg to direct it, which is interesting. After
Swing for fences.
John Watts left. That's
John
right.
Watts, yeah.
After Peyton Reed going on record for years saying he wanted the job, they gave it to John Watts. I think that the fact that they asked Steven Spielberg means they're maybe they asked John Watts to leave and they're like, we need to get at the time,
who the fuck can we get to replace John Watts?
More so that they want to make a big splash. I think something that they maybe learnt from getting Raimi on board for Multiverse of Madness is what if we every now and then we actually do get one of these powerhouse directors that has a fan base that exists outside of the MCU. I wonder if part of it is they're saying to true film buffs, look, they're stooping to our level. Why can't you? You know? And so I reckon
Who
we're
would
going
you
to
get then?
I would get Spielberg. I don't know who like why
Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, he would fucking do it as well, wouldn't he?
Well, because he's just done Pinocchio for Disney Plus. So.
Oh, he would absolutely do it.
He was in talks for Flash at one point.
Oh yeah, I think because it's like you either.
I want it to be an exciting director. I don't want it to be someone that I go, oh yeah, I saw that one little indie movie they did and that was pretty good.
I mean, you know, could they get like a Nolan, a Denis Villeneuve? You know, they couldn't get Denis Villeneuve. I don't know, like. Oh, what if they fucking got like Martin Scorsese? That would be the ultimate
so
Dom, the Dom move of the MCU.
Yeah. And so what do you think? There's a rumored leaked cast, which is Penn Badgley for the lead from You as Mr. Fantastic, Melissa Benoist from Supergirl and Whiplash as Susan Storm, and Joe Keery from Stranger Things as the Human Torch, and Jason Segel as the Thing.
I think Jason Segel's a really inspired cast for the Thing. I think Joe Keery would suit Human Torch. I'm not that familiar with the other two. I do think, first of all, funny that like what's his fucking name? Isn't doing Mr. Fantastic.
John Krasinski. Yeah.
John Krasinski. It's funny that he like that almost felt like a confirmation, like an in-movie casting confirmation.
Yeah, Kevin Feige has said that it's like that was the time to do fan service, and we put it in there as a little bit of fan service, not necessarily confirming he's not going to be playing him or that he is going to be playing him, but
because there was another rumor that John Krasinski would direct Fantastic Four with himself starring. But I think, what are these?
Glenn Howard, and he needs a win.
No, I was gonna say like the best casting I've heard for Mr. Fantastic is Chidi from The Good Place.
Oh yeah.
William Jackson Harper. I heard that William Jackson Harper was like that's the best like fan cast I've heard for Fantastic Four, and I am kind of like maybe don't cast 4 white people. Like there's enough in the MCU already, and there's just going to continue to be more. Like, let's have a diverse Fantastic Four. I think that'd be great. I mean, it probably doesn't matter with the Thing. but
well, that's the one who they'd end up making a person of color as well.
Yeah, true. That would be. I don't know. I think it's a mistake to go all white.
What about Nicholas Stoller?
Who's that?
He directed The Muppets and Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, right. So a Jason Segel reunion.
Yeah.
I don't see anything in his work that would mean he'd be a good Fantastic Four director, but maybe.
Well, what else has he made? Neighbours 2, Sorority Rising.
Isn't he doing Bros?
Yeah, he does do Bros, yeah.
I'm going to look up blockbuster directors. Okay, James Cameron. No.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott wouldn't do it. Would Peter Jackson do it? Would Peter Jackson do it?
Ugh. Colin Trevorrow.
J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams would do it.
Yeah. There's been people have been like, oh, I get George Lucas to do it.
That's a great idea. That's George Lucas is my pick for Fantastic Four.
Do you know who my pick is? Actually, who would be probably a decent pick is Ron Howard.
No, but he's not excited. He doesn't excite people.
It's that comfortable, can work with a studio, has worked on a big budget thing with Disney before, can deliver a competent product.
No, I've got it. I know who should direct Fantastic Four, Richard. David Yates.
Zack Snyder.
Oh.
Who else? Matthew Vaughn.
Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, I did see Gore Verbinski and think, like, that's not actually a bad choice. Steven Soderbergh.
What are we talking about when we say household name director, though? I feel
John
like
Carpenter.
there's 3 household name directors, you know.
Who are they?
Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, maybe Peter Jackson, maybe James Cameron.
Martin Scorsese.
Alfonso
Cuarón.
You think? Well, even Gravity, there's space stuff.
No, that is saying he could do it.
Yeah, I know, but Gravity is in space and isn't Fantastic Four like
Yeah.
the space
Andrew
thing?
Adamson.
Yes, the director of Shrek, Shrek 2, and the Chronicles of Narnia. He's a Kiwi. Get him on board Fantastic Four.
There we go. We've solved it.
We did.
You're
We
welcome,
also,
Hollywood.
also on directors, I believe Destin Daniel Cretton.
Yes,
has
been announced to direct the Kang Dynasty, but not Secret Wars at this point.
Who do you reckon they're getting for Secret Wars?
I think it's probably that he's finalising a deal to do both, but we'll see.
I reckon Ryan
Who
Coogler.
knows? Yeah.
If he lands Wakanda Forever, Ryan Coogler should do Secret Wars.
Yeah. So that's the quiz. How did you do at home? I think you got, like 2?
Yep. I hope people enjoyed this. And let us know your scores in the comments below, whatever you're watching this. Maybe you
and
can't.
Let me know what your favourite question was.
Maybe
Mine
you can.
is either the Windows XP or the Princess Diana one.
Maybe you can't comment on whatever platform you're watching. Maybe you're watching this on Podchaser. But otherwise, you can always support Cold Popture at any of the places in which podcasts proliferate.
Can be supported.
Yep. That includes Instagram and Twitter at Cold Popture. You can join our Discord, which there'll be a link to in the show notes. That's where to really tell us what your score is, probably. And of course, if you would like to support us financially, because God knows we need it, let's get ourselves up to the level of a Marvel blockbuster in terms of budget. You can do that over at patreon.com/coldpopture, where you get a bunch of rewards, and you can also, including the post-credit scene, which is when we answer a fun little fan question after the music you're hearing right now finishes. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed SDCC. Hope you are loving the current slate of Marvel films. And we'll see you next week for Bad Boys.
Bad Boys!
Alrighty, welcome along to the post-credit scene. This is the segment at the end of each episode where if you go over to Patreon and donate $5 or more, that's patreon.com/coldpopture, you get to give us something to talk about in the post-credit scene, which is this. And that can be a question, and usually is a question. It can be a game that we can play quickly.
This is both today.
What is it? Tell me, who's it from?
This comes to us from Joe Rundle, who says that they have an icebreaker game where you talk about your first and worst of something. Pick a topic for the other host to answer. Examples given are first kiss and worst kiss, or first alcoholic drink and worst alcoholic drink. Do you have one for me?
Okay, first and worst, birthday party.
First and worst birthday party. I could tell you, I can't remember specifically my first birthday party, but there is one just like early birthday party memory I can tell you, is that I was very, it would have been like kindergarten age or preschool age or whatever, maybe not even that. And I remember, well, probably that, otherwise I wouldn't be able to remember it. But I do remember my birthday was on like a Thursday that year. And I remember like the week before or like a month before or whatever, lying in bed, unable to sleep, like stressing out. I think I was probably in tears because I didn't want to have my birthday party on a Thursday. And I didn't know that it was possible to not have a birthday party on your birthday. And I went and talked to my parents, and I was like so stressed out, crying, saying, I don't want to have my party on a Thursday. And they said, well, we can have it that weekend. And I was like, what? And then worst birthday party, I don't know. I as I've sort of gotten, like in the last 10 years, I would say have been the only times when I don't really think I ever really did much in the way of birthday parties enough to like have something that could disappoint me, like I've probably had like disappointing birthdays, but they haven't been parties,
Okay.
So I mean, probably the birthday before that one where I was forced to have it on a weekday. that stressed me out so dang much. I
the birthday before your first birthday.
Nice. All right, first and worst for you. I'm gonna go first and worst. Fast food.
First and worst fast food. God, I was started very young on fast food. I don't know if I can remember the first fast food.
Or is there any particular fast food you remember having for the first time at a young age?
Not at a young age. Oh, I remember my parents finding out about Hell Pizza, and despite the fact that they are devout Christian, Hell Pizza is a national brand in New Zealand. They do really good gourmet pizzas, but their like marketing is all hell imagery, like demonic. My parents were in Amway, the pyramid, the famous pyramid scheme, and because a motivational speaker at one of the conferences had told them about Hell Pizza, I think they were like supportive of it because someone they looked up to was. Whereas if they just discovered it on their own, I don't think they would have liked it. And I remember my parents got us some Hell Pizza for I think a birthday, funnily enough, and it was really good. And now, like, you know, Hell Pizza's so. I get it all the time, and I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest.
I think it's gone downhill. It did sort of change ownership, or like every became a lot more like franchised.
The pizza became worse, but it remained as like extremely expensive, I think. And worst fast food. God, I remember I was in. Have I told the story before when I went into a McDonald's in Sydney, Australia, and someone had shat on the floor, and the place just stunk, and like people were just sitting around eating. That was horrible. And then across the road from that McDonald's was a Burger King. And I went over there on a different night and got a rodeo, which is the little cheeseburger with onion rings and mayo. And I remember eating it and being like, this mayo tastes fucking weird. And being like, I don't know if the mayo is off, if this is just what mayo tastes like in Australian Burger King. It's called Hungry Jack's over there, I should say. So it is technically different. Or, dare I say, has someone tampered with the mayonnaise for some reason? It didn't, because it didn't taste like...
Didn't taste like cum.
It didn't... Well, I don't know. Maybe it was cum. Because it tasted more different than bad.
Because I've been chasing that high ever since, and I've never been able to...
I remember I couldn't finish it, and I gave it to my friend, and he ate it.
Did he think it tasted like cum?
He didn't say. He wouldn't say. He's gentle.
Yeah, this was a fun game. Thank you, Joe Rundle. Maybe this is something we could get like a show and tell thing on the Discord going.
Sounds good.